Cats hate people that do these things, and I'm not exaggerating. There are specific behaviors and personality traits that will make almost any cat want to avoid you completely. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what types of people cats can't stand and why, so you can make sure you're not accidentally doing things that make cats dislike you. If you want to be the kind of person cats actually love and trust, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're constantly sharing insights that will help you build better relationships with feline friends. Let's talk about what makes cats absolutely cannot stand certain people. Cats hate people who move too quickly and unpredictably around them. You know those high-energy people who are always rushing around, making sudden movements, and never sitting still? Cats absolutely cannot stand this type of person. Quick, erratic movements trigger cats' prey instincts in the wrong way. Instead of seeing you as safe, they see you as unpredictable and potentially threatening, like a predator that might suddenly pounce on them. When you move quickly toward a cat, make sudden gestures, or constantly fidget and create motion in their peripheral vision, you're creating a constant state of alertness and stress for the cat. They can't relax around you because they never know what you're going to do next. Cats prefer people who move slowly, deliberately, and predictably because they can track your movements and feel safe knowing what to expect. This is why cats often gravitate toward calm, quiet people who sit still and why they avoid the energetic, bouncy person at the party. It's not personal. It's just that the calm person reads as safe and non-threatening, while the energetic person reads as chaotic and potentially dangerous. If you naturally have high energy, consciously slowing down your movements around cats will make them much more comfortable with you. Cats absolutely hate people who don't respect no signals and keep forcing interaction. These are the people who see a cat trying to get away and think, oh, they're just playing hard to get, and chase after them, or who keep petting even when the cat's tail is twitching and ears are going back. Cats hate these people with a passion because they represent a complete lack of respect for boundaries and consent. When a cat walks away from you, flattens their ears, twitches their tail, or shows any other signal that they're not interested in interaction, that's a clear no that deserves respect. People who ignore these signals and keep pushing for interaction are teaching cats that humans can't be trusted to listen to communication. The cat learns that their attempts to set boundaries don't matter, which is incredibly frustrating and stressful for them. These are often the same people who complain that cats don't like them, not realizing that their refusal to respect cat communication is exactly why cats don't like them. Cats appreciate people who pay attention to their signals and back off immediately when the cat indicates they want space. When you respect a cat's no, you're actually more likely to get yes responses in the future because the cat learns they're safe with you. Cats hate loud, boisterous people who make lots of noise. Remember, cats can hear frequencies up to 64,000 Hz, which means loud human voices are genuinely overwhelming and sometimes painful to their sensitive ears. People who talk loudly, laugh loudly, yell across rooms, or generally exist at high volume are deeply unpleasant for cats to be around. These loud people often don't realize they're hurting cats' ears or creating stress. From the human's perspective, they're just being their normal, enthusiastic self. But from the cat's perspective, this person is constantly creating uncomfortable and sometimes painful auditory experiences. Cats will actively avoid rooms where loud people are and will definitely not voluntarily approach someone who's being noisy. Cats are drawn to people who speak in soft, gentle tones. You don't have to whisper, but if you naturally have a loud voice or tend to get excited and raise your volume, cats will appreciate you toning it down around them. The person at the party who's speaking quietly and calmly will have cats approaching them, while the loud laugher in the corner will have cats hiding under furniture. Cats hate people who stare at them directly without breaking eye contact. In cat language, direct sustained eye contact is a threat or challenge. It's what cats do before they fight, and it's what predators do when stalking prey. When you lock eyes with a cat and hold that stare, you're sending an aggressive message even if you think you're just admiring them or trying to make a connection. People who don't understand cat communication often make this mistake. They see a cat, think the cat is beautiful, and stare at them intently, trying to appreciate their cuteness. But the cat experiences this as, "This person is threatening me," or "This person is hunting me," which obviously makes them very uncomfortable. Cats will avoid eye contact with people who stare, look away, and often leave the area entirely to escape the uncomfortable intensity. The people cats love are those who use soft, indirect eye contact or who do the slow blink, closing eyes slowly, which is cat language for "I'm not a threat, I trust you." If you want cats to like you, glance at them rather than staring, look away frequently, and slow blink when you do make eye contact. This reads as friendly and non-threatening in cat communication. Cats absolutely cannot stand people who smell too strongly of perfumes, colognes, or other scents. Cats have an incredibly sensitive sense of smell, about 14 times more sensitive than humans, and they experience the world heavily through scent. When someone is wearing heavy perfume or cologne, what's a pleasant scent to humans can be absolutely overwhelming and unpleasant to cats. These strong artificial scents can actually cause cats physical discomfort, headaches, nausea, or respiratory irritation. Beyond the physical discomfort, strong scents mask the natural human scent that cats use to identify and recognize people. When you smell strongly of something artificial, cats can't properly read your scent signature, which makes them uncomfortable and uncertain around you. Cats are much more comfortable around people who either smell neutral or who carry natural human scent they can recognize and categorize. If you wear heavy fragrances, you might notice cats avoiding you or sneezing around you. People who want cats to be comfortable around them should skip the perfume when they know they'll be around felines. Comment down below if you've ever noticed your cat avoiding someone and wondering if it might be because of one of these reasons. Cats hate people who try to pick them up without permission or warning. There's a certain type of person who sees a cat and immediately wants to scoop them up for cuddles without any consideration for whether the cat wants this. Cats absolutely hate this because it removes their control, triggers their prey instincts. Being grabbed feels like being caught by a predator, and is often done by people who don't know how to hold cats properly. Being suddenly grabbed and lifted off the ground is frightening for cats. They had no warning, no choice, and suddenly they're vulnerable and suspended in the air with no escape route. Even cats who tolerate being held when approached properly hate being grabbed suddenly by someone who just decided cuddles were happening right now. These are often the same people who hold cats incorrectly, squeezing too tight, not supporting the back legs, holding them facing outward when the cat wants to face the person, or restraining them when they're trying to get down. Cats learn to hate and avoid these people because interaction with them means losing bodily autonomy and experiencing discomfort. Cats prefer people who let them initiate physical contact, who ask permission by extending a hand for sniffing before attempting to touch, and who immediately respect when a cat wants to be put down. When you give cats choice and control over physical interaction, they're so much more likely to seek out that interaction. Cats hate people who are overly enthusiastic and get in their space. These are the people who see a cat and immediately rush over, making excited noises, reaching out to pet them, getting their face close to the cat's face, and generally overwhelming them with enthusiastic energy. From the cat's perspective, this person is acting like an out-of-control predator, and it's terrifying. This overly enthusiastic behavior combines multiple things cats hate: quick movements, loud noises, invasion of personal space, and unpredictability. The person means well and is just excited to interact with a cat, but they're doing everything wrong from the cat's communication perspective. Cats need slow, calm approaches with plenty of space and the option to approach or retreat as they choose. The irony is that these enthusiastic people often love cats and desperately want cats to love them back. But their enthusiasm is exactly what's making cats avoid them. Meanwhile, the person who's sitting quietly minding their own business often has cats approaching them because that calm, non-intrusive energy reads as safe and comfortable to cats. Cats absolutely cannot stand people who smell like other animals, especially dogs. When you come into a cat's space smelling strongly of another animal, the cat experiences this as territorial invasion and potential threat. They're smelling the scent of another animal in their territory, which triggers defensive and anxious responses, even though the actual animal isn't present. Dog smell is particularly problematic because many cats have negative associations with dogs from being chased or threatened. When you smell like a dog, you're carrying the scent signature of what many cats perceive as a predator. Even cats who live peacefully with dogs in their own home can be uncomfortable with unfamiliar dog scents from outside their household. People who work with animals, volunteer at shelters, or have multiple pets at home often don't realize they're carrying animal scents that make cats uncomfortable. If you're going to visit someone with a cat and you have pets at home, changing clothes and washing hands before interacting with the cat can make a huge difference in how receptive they are to you. Cats hate people who use them as props for photos or social media without respecting their comfort. These are the people who constantly shove phones or cameras in cats' faces, manipulate them into poses, use flash photography, or keep bothering them to get the perfect shot even when the cat is clearly uncomfortable. Cats hate this behavior because it prioritizes the human's desires over the cat's well-being. Cats don't understand what cameras are, but they definitely understand when someone is pointing something at them, making weird noises to get their attention, preventing them from leaving, or using flash that hurts their eyes. The person taking photos might think they're just documenting how cute the cat is, but the cat experiences it as harassment. These are the same people who dress cats up in costumes for photos even when the cat clearly hates it, who hold cats in uncomfortable positions for cute pictures, or who constantly interrupt a cat's peaceful moments because it would make a good Instagram post. Cats learn to avoid these people because interaction with them is always on the human's terms, with no consideration for the cat's comfort. Make sure you're subscribed because we regularly share insights about what cats really want and need from their humans. Cats hate people who are inconsistent and unpredictable in their treatment. These are the people who are sometimes affectionate and sometimes push the cat away, who sometimes allow certain behaviors and sometimes punish them, or whose mood determines how they interact with the cat. Cats need consistency to feel safe, and unpredictable people make them constantly anxious. When you can't predict whether approaching a person will result in pets and treats or being pushed away and ignored, you stop approaching that person. Cats are smart enough to recognize patterns, and when there is no pattern, when the person's behavior is random and mood-dependent, cats learn that this person is unreliable and potentially unsafe. This inconsistency is especially damaging when it involves punishment. If a cat gets scolded for jumping on the counter sometimes but not other times, or if being on furniture is allowed when the person is in a good mood but forbidden when they're stressed, the cat can never learn the actual rules. They just learn that this person is unpredictable and therefore untrustworthy. Cats absolutely hate people who use physical punishment or aggression toward them. This should be obvious, but cats have long memories for people who have hurt them. Anyone who has hit, kicked, thrown things at, or otherwise physically harmed a cat will be remembered and avoided, often for years or even the rest of the cat's life. What many people don't realize is that cats also remember and dislike people who have restrained them roughly, handled them carelessly causing pain, or been aggressive during necessary care like giving medication. You don't have to intentionally hurt a cat for them to develop negative associations with you. Being rough, careless, or forceful is enough. Cats who have been physically punished or roughly handled become fearful and defensive around the person who hurt them. They might hide when that person is around, hiss or swat if approached, or show signs of stress like dilated pupils and flattened ears just at the sight of that person. The trust is broken and extremely difficult to rebuild. Cats hate people who ignore their basic needs like food, water, and litter box cleanliness. Beyond just disliking these people, cats lose respect for and trust in people who don't reliably meet their fundamental needs. When someone is supposed to feed the cat but forgets or is late frequently, or when someone is responsible for litter box duty but lets it get disgusting, cats notice and judge. Cats are fastidious creatures who value cleanliness and routine. When someone consistently fails to maintain these standards, cats don't just feel uncomfortable, they feel uncared for and disrespected. They might start avoiding the person, acting out through inappropriate elimination, or showing stress behaviors because their basic needs aren't being reliably met. This is especially obvious when there are multiple people in a household and the cat clearly prefers whoever is most reliable about care duties. The person who always feeds on time, keeps the litter box clean, and maintains the cat's space becomes the favorite, while the person who's unreliable or neglectful gets avoided and receives no affection. Cats hate people who invade their safe spaces and hiding spots. These are the people who pull cats out from under beds, reach into their cat caves to pet them, or otherwise refuse to respect that certain spaces are the cat's private territory. Cats need safe spaces where they can retreat and be completely undisturbed, and people who violate these spaces are deeply resented. When a cat goes to their hiding spot, they're communicating that they need privacy and safety. Reaching in to pet them, trying to coax them out, or physically removing them teaches the cat that even their designated safe spaces aren't truly safe from this person. This creates chronic stress because the cat has nowhere they can go to escape unwanted interaction. Cats remember which people respect their safe spaces and which people invade them. The person who respects when a cat is hiding and leaves them alone becomes trusted and preferred. The person who constantly bothers hiding cats becomes someone to avoid and hide from even more intensely. Finally, cats hate people who are generally disrespectful of cat nature and keep expecting them to behave like dogs or humans. These are the people who get frustrated that cats aren't constantly excited to see them, who are annoyed that cats need alone time, who complain that cats aren't as trainable or obedient as dogs, or who constantly try to force cats into behaviors that aren't natural for them. Cats can sense when someone doesn't actually appreciate them for being cats. When you're constantly comparing a cat to a dog, wishing they were more affectionate or more responsive or more anything other than what they are, cats pick up on that dissatisfaction and disappointment. They learn that this person doesn't actually like cats. They like the idea of a cat that acts completely differently. People who truly love and appreciate cats for their unique feline qualities, the independence, the subtlety, the sophisticated communication, the choosiness about affection, are the people cats gravitate toward. When you accept and celebrate cat behavior rather than constantly wishing it were different, cats sense that acceptance and are much more likely to share their affection with you. The bottom line is that cats have very clear preferences for certain types of people and behaviors. They hate loud, forceful, disrespectful, unpredictable people who ignore their communication and violate their boundaries. They love calm, quiet, respectful, consistent people who understand cat language and give cats choice and control over interactions. If you've been doing any of these things that cats hate, don't worry. You can change your behavior and rebuild the relationship. Cats are capable of updating their opinions about people when those people consistently demonstrate better understanding and more respectful treatment. Start respecting boundaries, moving more calmly, speaking more softly, and giving cats choice, and you'll likely see their attitude towards you improve. Understanding what cats hate helps you become the kind of person cats actually want to be around. When you respect their nature, communicate in their language, and prioritize their comfort, you become someone cats trust and seek out rather than avoid. If this helped you understand why some cats might not like certain people, make sure you're subscribed for more cat behavior insights, and definitely check out this next video where we talk about how to become a cat's favorite person.